Good morning. It is a blessing to come into your house through social media to worship and to praise and magnify God. I want to encourage First Baptist Church of Donna and anyone else that is listening to this. Put your eyes on God. Trust God. Believe in God. Know that God has everything under control. Know that you know that you know that God is still on the throne. Let's hold our heads up high and go around our house and just worshiping and praising God and calling up our friends and our loved ones and telling them Jesus is Lord. Church, I want you to know that we do need to get our house in order. We need to make sure we get things lined up the way things are going. We don't know when Jesus may return. The Bible tells us no man knows the time nor the hour. And it says that he will come like a thief in the night. So we need to get our house in order. So if you do not know the Lord as your Savior, just ask him to come into your life. Believe that he is the true and living God. And see that he will make a way out of no way. Church, I want to encourage you that God is alive. And he's sitting on the throne right now, interceding for you and for me. And you know what? I love this. He just doesn't pray over us. He sings over us too. What a mighty God. What a mighty God we serve. And you know, this morning, I want us to be in prayer for our members. I want us to be in prayer for our friends and loved ones. I want us to be in prayer for those that are in leadership. You know, and most of all, that there will be a spiritual awakening in the church, that ministers, evangelists, all of us will begin to really seek God and not what we are trying to seek or what we're trying to do, but what God is trying to do. That there will be a spiritual awakening upon all person, every child, every teenager, every adult, that God will awaken in us and that we will begin to praise him and magnify his name. And now the most important part in all of this is that we will humble ourselves and allow God to be God. Let us pray. Father, we just thank you this morning. We thank you for all that you are doing. And Lord, right now, you see what's going on. There's mass confusion. There's people that are afraid, even though your word tells us that we do not need to be afraid, that we do not need to be frightened. And Heavenly Father, all around the world, Father, they need your touch again, and that we will come back to you, and that we will humble ourselves, and that we allow you to be the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords in our lives. And Lord, those that are sick right now, Father, I pray for them and I lift them up. And Father, I ask that you touch them and that you will heal them and make them whole. Just like the lady with the issue of blood, Father God, who touched the hem of your garment. And Father, she was healed. I pray, Heavenly Father, that people will reach out and touch you, Father God, as you touch them and make them whole. For you said by your stripes we are healed. And Father God, I believe that and I trust that and I stand on your word. And I know that your word does not come back void. Heavenly Father, I pray for men and women all around the world. I pray for their families. I pray for their loved ones. Father God, be with them. And Father God, that you will move in a mighty way. And Father, if we have sinned in any way, forgive us of our sins. Forgive us for anything we said or done wrong, Father God. Have mercy on us. Have mercy upon our nation. Have mercy upon our country. Have mercy upon your people, Father. And Lord, that your spirit will move in a mighty way. We bind the hand of the enemy that tries to come against each and every person right now in the name of Jesus. And I plead the blood of Jesus Christ over every family around the world. And Father God, that they will be saved and that they will be healed and that they will be made whole and that you will supply their every need. We just thank you and we give you the praise and the honor in Jesus' name. Amen. I would like to sing a song for y'all this morning. And I hope that it will be a blessing because this is what we need today. We need a touch from God. We need him to touch his people again. We need him to touch the church again. And you know what? I'm hoping that we be accepted of God touching us. Let this be a blessing to each and every person that hears this song. Touch your people once again. We need wisdom, we need power, and true love for each other. We have had so many big but empty words. So we come before your face, asking for your grace. Bring your people to a state of kingdom come. Restore your church again. Touch your people once again. With your precious holy hand, we pray. Let your kingdom shine upon this earth through a living, glorious church. Not for temporary deeds, but to restore all authority and power. Let a mighty rushing wind blow in. Touch your people once again. Lord, you see your tired servants and the broken, wounded soldiers. Oh, how much we need your precious healing hand. We need the power of the cross as the only source when we stand up facing final battle cry. Restore your church again. Touch your people once again. With your precious holy hand, we pray. Let your kingdom shine upon this earth through a living, glorious church. Not for temporary deeds, but to restore authority and power. Let a mighty rushing wind blow in. Touch your people once again. While you're at home, sing this chorus with me. Touch your people once again. With your precious holy hand, we pray. Let your kingdom shine upon this earth through a living, glorious church. Not for temporary deeds, but to restore authority and power. Let a mighty rushing wind blow in. Touch Touch your people once again. Sing it with me one more time. Touch your people once again with your precious holy hand. We pray. Let your kingdom shine upon this earth through a living, glorious church, not for temporary deeds, but to restore all authority and power. Let a mighty rushing wind blow in. Touch your people once again. Let's give God a praise. Father, we just thank you. We just need you to touch us again. Holy Spirit, you are welcome in this place. You are welcome within our heart, soul, mind, and all our being. Let's just thank God. You thank God right there. Thank him for answering your prayer. Thank him for delivering you. Thank him for restoring you. Thank him for providing for you. Thank him for being a redeemer. We just got to praise God and rejoice. In everything, give praise to God. In everything that we do, even though it seems like, how can we praise God through this? But we still need to praise him because he is in the midst. He has never left us and he has not forsaken us. He's right there. I want you to know we need to put our confidence in God. You see, we're putting our confidence too much in man. And I want you to know, man will fail you. But our living God, he will not fail us. He will not leave us, nor will he forsake us. That's why we need to put our confidence, our trust back in him. This everyday uncertainty we are facing all over the world is a distraction from the faithfulness of God and God alone. I want you to know the enemy, he wants to distract us. He wants us to get our eyes off of God and put our eyes on these things that are going on around us. The Bible does tell us that we need to be watchful and that we need to be in prayer constantly. But don't allow these things to distract us from taking our eyes off of God. As believers, we should tell everybody about the gospel of peace with love. We need to get our house in order. I want you to know Jesus is coming. When? No man knows. We don't even know the time nor the hour, but he's coming. In Revelations, it tells us, Lord Jesus, come. And when he comes, will we be ready? Look around you and see what is happening right now in the world. People are afraid and the government is not sure what to do. In a time like this, what do? We stay watchful and pray. We allow our faith to carry us through this time in the valley. Let us put our faith into practice and see God move on our behalf. When we pray, we allow God to build up our confidence in him. Touch your people once again, Lord. Move in a powerful way that all nations will know who you are, the one and true God. We see with David that his faith was strong in God and in the midst of his problems. On top of that, David prayed to God. That is what we should be doing ourselves, praying to God. He tells us in his word, once we humble ourselves and pray, that he will heal the land. And we need healing in our mind, body, soul, and spirit. I will read from Psalms 27, verse 7 through 14. I hope you have your Bible to follow along with me as we hear from God's word. Hear, O Lord, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me and answer me. When you said, seek my face, my heart said to you, your face, Lord, I will seek. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger. You have been my help. Do not leave me nor forsake me. When my father and my mother forsakes me, then the Lord will take care of me. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me in a smooth path because of my enemies. Do not deliver me to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, and such as breath out violence. I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Heavenly Father, we just thank you. We just thank you for your word. And we ask, Lord, that you will speak to us. And we ask, Father God, as we humble ourselves, Lord, that you will move in a mighty way on our behalf. And Father God, that we will hear what you have to say to us. And Lord, that we just don't hear what you have to say to us, but that we will also do what you're asking us to do. That we will be obedient to your word. Let the word of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable and pleasing in your sight, O Lord, my God, my Redeemer. Amen and amen. Does God respond to our prayer? Yes, he does answer our prayers. He responded to David in verse 7 and 8. Listen to what it says. Lord, hear my voice when I call. Be glorious to me. Be gracious to me and answer me. My heart says this about you. You are to seek my face. Lord, I will seek your face. Many of us are asking, what do we do when we're not in the church, in the building? What do? We have to stay in our house and we can't go out and go about like we want to. Right here, God is telling us what we should be doing, and that is seeking his face, praising him and glorifying him. Amid our uncertainty, we should hear God say, seek my face. David obeyed. Are we going to obey and seek God's face? In a stressful situation, there's a time in the midst of it when the voice of God speaks to us and says to us, seek my face. And this is a time that we need to seek God more and more. We should have been seeking God all along, but this is a time that we should be seeking him, asking him, Lord, move on our behalf, asking him, Lord, deliver us, asking him, Lord, keep us healthy. Just like you kept the children of Israel healthy during the Exodus, during the Passover, when they had to stay inside their house. They seek God. And you know what? God rescued them. Sincere prayer in time of trouble is a response to God. We must ask ourselves, are we seeking God's face during this time of confusion? You know, this is what's happening. And even me, I have to pull away sometimes. Looking at Fox News, looking at CNN, looking at all the social media. And you know what? It just feeds your natural man, and it gets you upset, or it gets you mad, or why aren't they doing this? But when God is telling us that we should seek him, we should follow him, I'm telling you the best thing that we should be seeking, and if we want to get answers and if we want to know what's going on, we need to pick up the Bible and we need to start reading it, seeing what God is saying, and we can tell what's going to happen. But if we're too busy caught up into Fox News, if we're too busy caught up into CNN and all the other news channels, then that keeps us distracted from seeking God and staying in His Word. And this morning, I want to encourage you, get away, pull away, and seek God. Get into the Word, read His Word, study it, meditate on it day and night, and begin to worship and begin to praise and see a change in your home, see a change within yourself, and see a change that will happen in our nation. You see, everybody's saying, oh, all this is happening because, well, they took prayer out of school and they took prayer out of that. I want you to know, if we were not praying at home, we need to pray at home first. We need to talk about God first in our home. We need to seek God at home, and then it will spread to everywhere else. When we pray, we depend on God. See, right now, everyone's trying to depend on man, and we need to depend on God. Do not hide your face from me. It's like right now, it seems like God is hiding His face from us, but He's not. We need to depend on Him. We need to go and seek Him out. And when we seek Him out, we will find Him. Your servants away in anger. You have been my helper. You see right there, He will be our helper. Do not leave me or abandon me, God of my salvation. Even if my father and mother abandon me, the Lord cares for me. No matter if you have been abandoned, no matter if you have been rejected by friends, by loved ones, by family, God will not abandon you. Just know this, that David's mom and dad did not forsake him. Even though that did not happen to David, David knew that if they did abandon him, God would be there to provide for him. And I want you to know, it may seem like it, you're like saying, where is God? Where is God in all of this? I want you to know He is in the midst of the storm. He is right there, and He has not abandoned us. He's just telling us to seek Him. He's just telling us to come to Him, to draw near to Him, to find Him. God will be there to provide for him. And if God will be there to provide for David, won't He do the same for us? It is the same for us. If you have lost your job or going through some hard time, know this, that the Father in heaven will be there for you. When we pray, we have to humble ourselves. We got to humble ourselves. We got to fall before the throne and humble ourselves to the will of God. And you see, sometimes that's the hard part. We don't want to humble ourselves. We want to do what we want to do. Either my way or it's the highway. But I want you to know, when it comes before God, we got to humble ourselves and follow after Him and His righteousness. Listen to this. It says, because of my adversary, show me your way. So right now, as we're going through this uncertainty, as we're talking about COVID-19, right now, this is a time we should ask, Lord, show me your way and lead me on a level path. See, now we can go back to Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Look at that. He wants to do the same with us right now. He lead us on a level path. Do not give me over to the will of my foes. God is not going to give us over to the enemy. God will protect us. For false witnesses rises up against me, breathing violence. I am certain that I will see the Lord's goodness in the land of the living. And I want you to know, through this, we are going to see the goodness of the Lord. Through this, we're going to see people turning back to God. Through this, we're going to see a spiritual revival and people coming back to Christ. Like now, we may not know the plan that God has in store for us as we go through this journey of faith together, but know this, that God's plan is for good. God's plan for us is of good. And he wants to see us to prosper. He wants us to do well. That's with any father. They want to see their children doing well. They don't want anybody hurting. But I want you to know there is an adversary out there that wants to take this blessing away. Don't let him. Trust in God. Believe in God. Know that he is there. The reason why we do not know the will of God is that we do not open our spiritual eyes to see the will of God. And right now, God is telling us that we need to seek his face. We need to follow after him. We must wait on the Lord. Look at this. Here's another problem. Here's another situation that in our natural being we have a hard time with. We have a hard time humbling ourselves. We have a hard time waiting on the Lord. We want it now. That's why we got all these fast food restaurants with drive-thrus, because we think we're going to go in there and get it quickly. And then sometimes we still have to wait. But I want you to know that we need to wait on the Lord. Let's humble ourselves and let's wait on him. In his time, he makes all things beautiful. In his time. Allow God to work in your life. He will answer your prayer at the right time. He's an on-time God. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and courageous. I want to encourage every person that is listening to this morning. Be of good courage and wait on the Lord. I know that we want to go here and we want to go there, but let's wait on the Lord. Wait for the Lord. We have to wait on the Lord. We as a people, it's hard to wait when we live in a fast-paced society. We also have to be strong and courageous. I want you to know, be strong and be courageous that God is going to move, that God will answer the prayer of the righteous. When we pray and we wait on the Lord, we will see God work in our lives. And we will see God work through all our problems. Watch what God's going to do. Watch what he's going to do. Do we have the same request of David? You know, David requested, God, hear my cry. Oh God, hear my cry. Have mercy on me. Answer my prayer. And we all want God to answer our prayer. But remember, we have to stay humble and we have to wait. Do not hide your face from me. Lord, do not hide your face from us as we're going through this uncertainty right now. Shine your face towards us. What does the scripture say? Shine your countenance towards us. That he will be gracious towards us and give us peace. Do not turn your servant away in anger and do not leave me. Do not leave us, Lord. Do not forsake us, Lord. And most of all, teach me your ways. That should be one of our requests. Lord, teach us your ways. Show us your way. And then lead us in a smooth path. Lord, make our crooked road straight. Father, make our crooked road straight. That's a request. Request that of our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ, and watch what he does for us. And do not deliver me to the will of our enemy. And I'm praying that does not happen. You know, God is a good God. We can request. We can ask him. And I want you to see something. When we humble ourselves, when we are obedient to God's word, and when we seek God, look at this. When we seek God, guess what? He will be found. When we seek God, God will hear from heaven. He will hear our prayer from heaven. When we seek God, he will forgive us. And we're asking God to forgive this nation. We're asking God to restore this nation back in the whole. But you know what? It says that things will get worse. This is just a birth pain right now. Is your house in order? Have you asked God to forgive you? Have you asked God to come into your life? Have you asked him to be your Savior? I want you to see, as we continue to seek God, that he will also heal. He will heal the land. What does it say? If my people will humble themselves, I will heal their land. Notice in there, it asks us to be what? Humble. We need to humble ourselves again, church. We need to humble ourselves before the throne of Christ. When we seek God, there's goodness from God. When we seek God, no lack of any good thing. When we seek God, we have life. When we seek God, we get knowledge. When we seek God, we'll get righteousness. When we seek God, all blessings of life we have. And when we seek God, answer to prayer. I want to encourage you to seek God. I want to encourage you to know that he will answer your prayers. In closing, build your confidence in God by praying and seeking his face. Let's stay watchful and pray. If we are spending more time watching and listening to Fox News and CNN and any other outlets, when do we find time to pray and hear what God has to say? God is letting us know that he is there to help us. He's letting us know that he is our help, our salvation, and deliverance. God will take care of you and will strengthen our hearts. All we must do is wait on the Lord. We need to wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. We must wait. Wait on him. Come to him and let him be the light of your life. Be encouraged. Seek him. Don't get distracted. Put your eyes back on God. And let us be a nation. Let us be a church. Let us be a people that sincerely seek God and that we worship. And I pray that God will bless you, that he will shine his face towards you, that he will shine his countenance towards you, that he will be gracious towards you and give you peace. And I encourage you to wait on the Lord. He has it under control. Let's stay in worship. And you see, don't get distracted, because when we get distracted, we don't worship. But in the good times, we should worship. So when we go through the bad time, guess what? We can worship. We need you, Lord. We need you, Lord, right now. We need you, Lord. We need you, Lord, right now. We lift our hands and bow our knees and worship at your throne. We need you, Lord. We need you, Lord, right now. Heavenly Father, we come and we humble ourselves before you, and we need you, Lord. And Lord, as we seek your face, we're asking, Lord, that you will hear our prayer. We're asking, Lord, that you will answer our prayer. And we're asking, Lord, that you will move in a mighty way. Pour out your spirit upon all flesh. And Father God, that there will be a spiritual revival, that all of us will come back and to seek your face. We thank you, Lord. And Lord, that we remember that you died on the cross for us, that your body represents us, that your blood that you shed for us, you took our place upon that cross. And we thank you. And you restored us back with the Father. Thank you for your grace and for your mercy. And I want to encourage you, this is the first Sunday, so remember to partake in the Lord's Supper for what he's done for us. May God bless you. May God be with you until we see each other again. God bless.